of tapping the word that you want, or to just continue moving on. So this is awesome. This sounds very, very useful instead of having the spell check automatically change a word that you didn't want to be changed. Um, let's see what's next. Next is iAd. This is Apple's take on basically Google AdSense. If you don't know what Google AdSense is, it's a lot of ads these days on websites. And you go on a website and you have an advertisement to the side. Usually, if it's Google AdSense, it'll have the Google logo on the ad, which is a lot of ads these days. So Apple's take on this, but it will not be on the web. It'll just be in apps, certain apps. Advertisements will now be displayed within app windows. Instead of having a pop-out ad, the new iAd campaign will work wonders for companies, being that millions of iPhones and iPads have been sold in the past. Apple will take 40% of the ad revenue, so basically they're incorporating a new way of putting ads. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I'm sitting right next to my window and it's really windy out. But yeah. Apple has this new ad campaign called the iAd. It is basically their way of putting ads inside of apps. The thing is I'm sure you're just saying, "Oh, great." I said that first, and I still kind of say that, but Apple claims that they're going to be able to make these apps look elegant, a lot cleaner instead of just flashy and in your way. You actually might take the time to look at some of these ads now. So yeah, I'm. This is kind of a bittersweet thing because yes, this is awesome. It's a new way of advertising. I'm sure it's gonna look a lot better, but then again, they are still ads, and it does kind of get annoying sometimes. So I'm sure this will be successful for them, and it'll probably leave probably the App Store world, and move on to the website, the World Wide Web. I'm sure we'll start seeing iAds in a few years. There'll probably be iAds in websites, and I can almost guarantee that one. Um, yeah, this iAds will not be inside the App Store. They will just be inside apps. So you will not be seeing any type of advertisements inside the App Store. Just apps that you download. They didn't really clarify if iAds will be in purchased or free apps. I'm sure they will be inside a free app. That's almost guaranteed. But I don't know about if you purchase an app and there will be iAds inside. I think that's optional for either one, though. It's kind of on the company's purposes or company's standards. But we'll see when it comes out, which I will be getting to soon. Release dates and uh, qualifications, I guess. Next, second to last, again, I apologize for the wind if you can hear that, is folders. You can now create folders to hold your different apps. When you drag an app icon to another, it will automatically name and create a folder for it. You will now be able to organize more than 2,000 apps. So, I'm sure that means you can have 2,000 apps to a folder. So, this is awesome. I believe in the 3.0 preview, they claim to have an organization system, which a lot of people were dying for, including myself. And that was being able to move your apps from your Mac or your PC through iTunes. So when you plugged in your iPhone or iPod Touch, you had an application pane, and you could through there organize your apps. But you couldn't do anything on your computer that you couldn't do straight from your device. So really, all you could do was move or delete your apps from your computer. But now this folders thing is going to be awesome because you can actually now have subfolders for your apps to move into according to category. And apparently, this is going to be smart enough to kind of do it for you. So it recognizes the type of app it is by just dragging each one on top of each other and immediately naming it and placing all those apps according to their type and name. So let's say you have the Uno app, and Monopoly app. Both are board games. So if you were to drag the Monopoly app on top of the Uno app, it would probably immediately recognize that and make it into a folder. The folder icon is just it's the average size of an app, and it shows a preview of the apps you have inside of there. So if you were to do that, I'm sure it would either mimic games or board games, and you would have those apps inside of it. So this is awesome to finally have a true organization system on your iPhone for your apps. And last but not least is the home screen wallpaper feature. So now, short and simple, this is something people have been dying for. Really, as far as customization goes, this is really the only thing people want to customize, which is basically instead of having just a black wallpaper, you can now have a picture on your wallpaper, which is a feature that a lot of people jailbreak for. Um, that's not why I jailbroke my iPhone. There's a lot of different reasons, but a lot of people just want that feature to have a picture on their wallpaper instead of just the black one. So um, it says here you will now be able to change the home screen wallpaper background on your iPhone OS 4.0, which you could not previously do. Short and simple. Now, I do not know if your lock screen wallpaper and your normal wallpaper have to be the same. I sure hope not. I doubt it, but then again, not 100% positive on that one. So now on to the release date and qualifications. Release date. For the iPhone and iPod Touch, users will have their hands on this summer, around the same time 3.0 came out last year. So I believe June something. Um, that's the release date for iPhone and iPod Touch users. This is also being carried over to the iPad, but at a later time. So iPad users will get their hands on the 4.0 software in the fall. No clear release date as in month or date, but it will be in the fall, so I'm sure around September, October time. So qualifications, which is which devices will be able to run the iPhone OS 4.0. Certain things about it. First off, if you're trying to run the iPhone OS 4.0 on an iPod Touch first gen or an iPhone first gen, it will not be possible. So if you have either one of those, the iPhone, it's called the iPhone 2G, but the first generation iPhone or the first generation iPod Touch, you cannot run the 4.0 software. So the farthest you're going to get on those is 3.1.3, I think it's called, whatever the one is out now. So that's the farthest you're going to get. Sorry, so first gen users, including myself, I have the first gen iPhone, will not be able to get the 4.0 OS. And then next, multitasking is not available on certain devices. So everything else besides the multitasking is available on the supported devices. The devices that do not support multitasking are the iPod Touch second generation, which is a lot of people. I know a lot of people have the second gen iPod Touch and the iPhone 3G. So if you have the iPhone 3G or iPod Touch second gen, you will not be able to run multitasking, but you do still have all the other features. It's kind of a huge minus. I don't really know why that is. I'm sure it's because of um, I don't know like exactly why, but I'm sure it has to do with something with maybe the processor or something like that.